Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this broadcast of the Prism for Enterprises School of Business. And that's what we're doing today. My guest today is RJ Muto of Project Blue, and he's in the venture capital and lending space. So, from that introduction, I guess you can figure out we're going to be talking about money. This is how much money they need. This is what they need to ask for, but that's not necessarily the case. Type of money, how much money you actually need, when you need it, and how do you spend it. So welcome, RJ. If you want to share some more with my audience about what you do, but please.
Hold on a second. Let's take it back. Waste the customer's time by sending them to people that are not going to give them money.
Yes.
Usually it was like a school thing, and we're supporting the band or whatever. And you bought this book for $25, and
You would think that would be pretty risky. I mean, 90
yeah,
days is not a long time for a restaurant to be right. Rather than the loan with the borrower, it's really the lender with the borrower that has the most challenges when it comes to finding funding would be startups. What because they have no history, they probably have no business credit, transitioning from employee to now being an entrepreneur and is looking to fund their business. How would you guide that type of individual?
so it's having that business plan. It's really knowing that craft. So if this person, let's say they worked in a manufacturing and they've been a tool and die person for 15, 20 years, but let's jump ahead a little bit and say, okay, you've done that. You have to have, I don't want to say excellent credit, but you have to have decent credit. You're renting a place, so obviously you're not going to have that asset. So that's something you got to be aware of. You sort of need that. You've been working so long to build that up to now put it in danger.
Mhm.
Everybody,
Should really be something that every business owner, whether you're starting or whatever stage you're at, is to factor that into your model and your plan and as you're trying to grow and scale. Disruptive space, I would say, like inventors. And oftentimes that's where they make that mistake, is when they're starting, they want to jump immediately
yeah.
to to go and okay, where can I find money? Let me do this, let me do that, let me go.
Video piece that I put out, it was just out of frustration. And it's, do you have a business or do you have a hobby? All the SBA programs, because they're free. Your tax dollars go towards that. Obviously, the venture capitalists are going to look at, what type of money do you have in there, or acquire debt or give away equity. So, it's those type of things. I tell you,
In other words, are you immersing yourself in the business realm and being familiar with what's going on out there?
do you know how long it takes to complete a game of Monopoly? What are the tax laws? The tax laws are not there to hurt us. Okay. So I'm even going to break it up further than that. So for startup, and this could even be for a venture capitalist, have you done the homework? Do you have a
Mhm.
detailed business plan? Have you, this is who my CPA is. This is who my legal counsel is going to be. Um, let's say you're already in business and you could only be in business. Okay, 740 gets you everything. Anything over 740, the world's your oyster. Business credit, which is totally different, most businesses don't even have it. And what people don't understand is today, more lending institutions are going to look at business credit. So now, when we talk about the most important thing, is they're going to ask for either 3 or 6 months worth of your bank statements. And they're going to look at and they're going to say, is this person basically running this business as their wallet? People don't understand that. And then, of course, on the bank statements, you know, what's going to count against you is days where there's a zero balance. You're the one driving without a seatbelt or got or cell phone tickets, or you were speeding and you earned that record, and that's why your insurance is high. So it there's a lot to that. It's really easy to go out there because there's tons of programs that start at $5,000 to go up to $10,000, $25,000 to build your business credit, which I don't use and don't need, but I wanted to find out the right way to do it. The first thing I would say is don't spend money. So again, you have, just like the lenders, there's different VC that specialize in different, some are big into telecommunications and IT, some are more into, so let's say we've honed in on, here is the one or two groups that will work with a startup in your industry, you know, in your area. You know, you want to see what, you know, put in those losses for the first few years. What is going to be what you're called your run rate? You know, it's going to cost me this much for the materials. It's going to cost me this much to manufacture it, if it's that type of thing. You also have, and there's some sexiness to that, right? It's new, it's exciting. Time lapse that you
Yeah.
have to go through.
Mhm.
Okay. So if it's so much of a disruptor, and I'm not even saying it's impossible, all I'm saying is now what's that education process to get to that point? So they're going to look at that. Okay. Well, I've got this person who has this background and they do the bookkeeping. And then I've got this.
Got it. They've got it together. We can work with them.
You never want to call someone's baby ugly, right? I mean, that's, you know, all babies are beautiful. Well, we know they're not all beautiful, but we say they are. It's the same thing with these deals. You know, I want them to be realistic, dream, but you know, let's fortify that a little bit. Let's, you know, dial up this situation a little bit. Let's shore up the foundation because you're built on a foundation of sand. But you know, now you know you're coming out of this business and there's 3 customers that want to do business with you already. And maybe they're putting in $1 million, but I need to get to 5 million. Show that you have everything together. And it's much better going into VC and saying, I've got something that's going to be $1 billion.
You know, when we started the conversation, AJ, you said there were like how many different programs?
So people just don't know. And I just want, just to add on to your point there, I want people to, before they ask anyone for money, and like I said, watch Shark Tank and things like that. And the reason I use Shark Tank is because that's a perfect model with
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. Take yourself out of, you know, as a writer, I always say when you write something,
The bottom line is we've made a lot of these mistakes, most definitely, because the
oh,
wrong program will hurt your business.
and not tell you, you know, how is it going to affect your business, whether it's how you're spending it, how often you're spending it, are you spending it on the right thing?
And so I need you, we make small commissions. So I need you to be in business for the next 20 years.
It's been a great conversation. Um, and I hope you come back and talk more about those loan programs. But how can the audience find you?
So probably the best way to reach me directly is just to go to my website, which is rjmuto.com.
So
So
RJ, once again, thank you so much for being here. And to my audience, thank you for joining me again in the Prism for Enterprises School of Small Business. And I know